Hello guys, I welcome you to my channel. In our previous video, we talked about habits. Today, we want to talk about growing into maturity. When we say growth, in every aspect of our life, we have to grow. If you are not growing, it means that you are dying. If you are there as a person and you are not growing, you are dying. So let's look at the process of childbirth. We give birth to a baby, an infant, let me put it that way. The baby would have to sit, the baby would have to crawl. Sometimes we even force them to crawl, we force them to walk when we know that, oh, this baby is around 6 months, 8 months. He or she is supposed to crawl, but he or she is not crawling. You see, we want to train them to crawl. So you sit the baby down and then you put something there, then you tell the baby, come for it, come. That same way we train them to walk. So you have to grow, even if let's even talk about plants. You plant something in the ground, in the soil, and then you water it. You make sure that the plant has all the necessary nutrients it has to grow. So in life, we grow. You can't be at where you are and expect that things are okay. Like you there, you are okay. You are not making any effort to grow. No, so we grow, but then we growing, aside the physical growth, there is also maturity. And when I talk of maturity, I'm not talking about age. It's about how you handle situations, how you treat others, how you manage your own emotions. It's about responsibilities, emotional intelligence, and self-awareness. So this year we have to be matured. We are growing into maturity. We have physical maturity. And physical maturity has to do with the age, the oh, this boy, oh, Accra, why if you see you become, you are growing physically. Your body, you are tall, you are fat. Yes, that. And even that, you see that at a point you see that you've experienced some wrinkles in your face. Oh, at first you were able to wear heel, but now you can't wear heel because your knees. That is the physical maturity. Aside the physical maturity, we also have the behavioral maturity. That is where the Bible says that when I was young, I behaved as a child. But even as I'm growing and behaving as an adult, there are things that you used to do when you were a child, that when you get to a certain age, we don't expect you to behave that way. So people go like, now you say, why are you doing this at your age? At your age, you are doing this. That is the behavioral maturity. You yourself, you know that at a point when you have problems with people, how you solve it, how you quarrel with people, how now you get to a point where you say, oh, listen, at a point in your life, you realize that this behavior is childish. So we have behavioral maturity. Then we have the intellectual maturity, and that has to do with books, that has to do with the mind, that has to do with learning, that has to do with being knowledgeable, that has to do with expanding your knowledge. That is intellectual maturity. And then we have the emotional maturity. Some people are physically matured, some people are intellectually matured, but they are not emotionally matured. And so they will do things and you go like, why is this person behaving this way? I expected him or her to behave that way. Ade a woyɛ yi deɛ asɛ nkwarasɛm. Ade a woyɛ yi deɛ. So we have to make conscious effort to be matured. And we are going to talk about practical ways that will help you to be more matured even as we go on, because maturity is very necessary. Sometimes it defines you. It defines how people see you, it defines how you see people, and it defines how you even solve problems, how you have encounter with people. Because if you are matured, if you are grown and matured, you realize that, Charlie, some things that funny giddy 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 no, oh no, like you see them to be normal. So I have some few points here that I want to draw your attention to it to help you. The first thing I have here is that if you are matured, you take responsibility of your actions. Accountability. Accountability has to do with taking responsibility of the things you allow and the things you do. So you don't do things, and then there are some people, when they've done something and you want to address what they've done, then they try to shift the blame to you. Instead of them to sit down to ask, oh, okay, this thing, I was supposed to do it this way, but I didn't do it that way. That is why this person is doing this way. No, they always want to shift blame to you. And I've been telling my kids that accountability is very important. You see them fighting, and you ask them, why are you fighting? And he hit me first, and I also hit him back. And why are you fighting? Take responsibility. He said this, she said that. I didn't like it, so I acted that way. Accountability is very important. So if you are a matured person, you take responsibility of things that you allow and things that you do. Don't be shifting blames. If someone tells you, babes, sweetheart, my darling, brother, sister, this thing you did, I wasn't comfortable with it. Sit down. Don't let emotions cloud your judgment. Sit down and consider what he or she is saying and know that there are things that you have to do about it, you do. The second thing is that, my dear, if you are matured, you listen more and you talk less. That is why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. It is not everything that you think. Me and nowadays, if I'll just keep quiet and listen. And by listening, I don't listen with only my ears. I listen with my eyes. I listen. I look at everything. If you like talking too much, you are always apologizing. You are always making mistakes because you will do things that you yourself realize, why did I even do this? Why did I even say that? So please and please again, as much as possible, listen more. The other person full attention, understand their perspective, and then try to respond thoughtfully. The next thing I have here is that you have to manage your emotions. Matured people manage their emotions. They don't allow their emotions to control them. They don't, me, I was angry, so I slapped him, and I slapped her because I was angry. This is where the accountability comes in. You were angry and you slapped him. You weren't able to manage your emotions. And sometimes, if you allow your emotions to direct you, you always make mistakes. I always say that emotions are the worst GPS directors. They will take you to somewhere and leave you there. And before you've realized, you've messed up. So, if you want to be matured this year, my dear, you really have to learn how to manage your emotions. Know the things that triggers you. Know the things that you don't like, and know when it's coming. Know that, oh, okay, then I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do that. I'm going to put a link of a video in the description of this video. If you haven't watched that video, I really hope that you watch it. And it's about how you can manage your emotions. You have to know how to manage your emotions, and then you also have to be open to feedbacks. I am the type, the people close to me, I go to them and I ask them, is there anything that I did that I wasn't supposed to do? Especially after a sermon or after a presentation or whatever. I go and ask for feedback. So, how was it? How did I perform? And I want the honest feedback that you can give me so that next time I can get better. You move you corrections. When people are correcting us, we don't want it. We always want think that like the ones that we are doing is perfect, is best. We make mistakes. The ultra son onim se ne chiachia. We all make mistakes. And so if when you mistake, now someone is telling you that, oh, this thing you were supposed to do it that way. Sometimes it depends on how they say it, because some of them they come they come on too strong and they tend to be judgmental. And sometimes when the person is judgmental, you're as human as you are, you tend to block whatever the person wants to say. So please, let's be open for feedbacks. And then you also have to prioritize self-discipline. Mature people are self-disciplined. And I felt like my husband wasn't treating me well. So I also, my husband was cheating. So I also decided to cheat on him. My husband was not there. I felt so honey. My boyfriend was not there. We went out. I went out with a friend, and I don't know what happened. Before I realized we slept with my dear, prioritize self-discipline. You have to be able to discipline yourself. The Bible says that someone who is without self-control is like a pig that you have bathed and putting a gold nose in his or her nostril in its nostril. So you have to learn how to be self-disciplined, and then you also have to let go of petty drama. Some of you, hey, you are too dramatic. Like asama issues that are very tiny that you can just let go. You want to make like why? Why? Mature people don't really pay attention to some of these petty things. So, my dear, these are practical ways to make you behave more matured. If there's anything that you want to add, you can add in the comment section. If you want to ask me a question, please ask me in the comment section. And pay attention to these things, Charlie. This year, as I've said, no dulling. We are not dulling. We are growing into maturity. We are practicing habits that will help us improve on our lives. We are improving on our lives. We are improving on our relationships, and we are becoming better people this year. I really hope that this video has helped you. If you have any question, as I said, put in the comment section for me, and let's just have a discussion. If there's any topic that you also want me to talk about, you can put in the comment section, and I'll gladly do a video about it. Thank you so much. I love you, and I'll definitely see you in the next video. But remember that the goal is to love yourself first. Cheers.